the same.
What you just said, we live for a moment. I read something and I've kept it, that we're mortal.
Yes.
If I
This is mortal.
if I hold your hand now, Kaya, it's now 4 minutes to 4, 9 minutes to 4. It is the first time and the last time I'm doing this today. On the 7th January 2023. 7 minutes, that's our lives. So whatever we do now, it is for the first time
We must be present.
and it's for the last time. Emotion.
Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over.
Hello. Welcome, guys, to the broadcast. For those of you who are coming through for the first time, you are more than welcome. For those of you keep coming, keep doing what you're doing, I love it. Guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this content. You can put on your notification bell so that you're notified each time we post a new video. So guys, I've got a single that's out. You can check it out on all digital stores. You can also follow me on Instagram. Today, guys, I've got a very, very exciting guest, and I think today we're gonna have a treat, like a wealth of experience and a wealth of wisdom. I'm sitting here with Mr. Zuko. Zuko, do you wanna maybe talk to our people? Just
Sure.
introduce yourself. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm humbled.
Yeah.
I must say, to say the least,
Yeah.
for you to invite me. Just a quick intro. My name is Zuko Mandile. Born in Stexford. First language I spoke was Sotho.
So you're a fluent Sotho speaker.
100% fluent Sotho speaker.
Yeah, I was and I'm like, hey, drop it.
Nah,
Struggle for a minute.
In fact,
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
And I grew up in Queenstown. Humble beginnings. I studied from former Bantu education. School of Dogs in
This is what your primary.
My primary, yes. And I went to study in Kuliseni. It's just other side of Kamada Great Place. I used to walk there with my mother, crossing a river. And I remember one time there was a snake.
Zilali is the
Zilali, yeah. There was a snake on the river, and we had to wait. I can never forget that.
Sure.
I can never forget.
I'm an old lady.
And then I only got in school. So we moved from there. I went to study Koronis Primary School up in Lokshin.
So this time, a primary.
This is all primary school.
Okay.
This is all primary
Okay,
school.
even Onesimus is primary.
Unones is a primary school.
So
yeah.
that now when you moved there, you came to Queenstown and then.
We came to Queenstown from Kofinvaba.
Sure.
In fact, from Stexford we came to Kofinvaba.
Yeah.
And then from Kofinvaba we came to Queenstown. Yeah. So nafunda Unones primary school. From Gononesi, I was a student in Kwakomani. This is now high school, standard 6, standard 7.
Sure.
I was fortunate enough, but the tied with Queens. I think, well, I could play rugby and, I don't know, with God's grace.
But you're a Queen.
Kwakoman.
Okay, so that's
In fact,
why...
no. Kwanonis.
Yeah.
Mr. What is his name? Mr. Shengane.
Yeah.
He introduced to rugby.
Okay.
Mr. Shengane, yes. So I was introduced to the sport, and rugby and cricket. It's one of the top sports in Queenstown. Yeah. So I got to Queens and I matriculated, and I went to Pretoria University, Technical Pretoria at that time. And Funda Pana. Look, abazalwa msitishara. And I had two sisters abafunda at GHS at that time, girls high school. Yeah, born.
I'm
I'm the first one.
Okay.
I'm the first one.
So it's just you
And two sisters.
Okay.
Now, on that, on my second year, I had to drop out. In my second year.
At Technicon.
Sorry,
which Technicon is this?
Pretoria, Technical Pretoria. I had to drop out of my diploma and the Pangela. Started working as a barman. Well, when I started working as a barman, it was to compensate Imali that I was only getting 500 stipend for the whole month. And
This is from your parents?
This is from my parents. And 500 in Pretoria, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Yo, it's sand.
Yeah. So I started working as a barman and wanted to compensate for the month. And I could see
If you don't mind me cutting you, like,
sure.
I didn't get, what were you studying?
At that time, I was studying quant surveying.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what was the reason for you to drop, or kind of to pause, whatever it was?
To pause, look, working was taking too much of my time, and I'm one of those people. I hate failing. I was passing, and I could see by Ikwan and Shayo, and the studies were getting the least attention.
Yeah, they were being compromised.
They've been compromised. But fortunately, there was Banda Sebenza to get my diploma eventually.
Yeah.
Paying for myself.
Yeah.
I got the diploma, and then I'm someone who's quite broad in terms of the careers. I found interest on labor law, not actually law, but I studied labor law.
Sure.
With UNISA. I studied labor law.
So now you are obviously working and studying.
And studying, yeah. I studied labor law. I got employed in a company called CSR Labor as a legal assistant there. And then through my the quantity surveying side of it, a friend of mine gave me a call by, hey, he wants to start a company and he has me in mind. Wow, interesting times.
Like
this is now on my second year only doing labor law.
Much.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, so I said, okay, talk to me. At that time, I've moved from Pretoria.
Much.
Okay, I'm now based in East London. So we started this company in Queenstown, a QS firm. It was doing very well, I must say. You know, we're both young, both full of energy, you know.
Not scared, ready to do whatever.
No, none of that. You know, we thought we were the kings of the
Don't worry, I've actually got the time here.
Okay, of the industry. So, whilst working with the colleague of mine, you know, I'm a born Queenstonian. I could see, I was just not happy with the political landscape. I was just not happy with how I struggled in university. You know, I felt there are more people that needed help because I needed help at the time of going to Fundai, and I really wanted to go and have a degree, you know, and I was forced to take a break in my studies. And I felt there's something needs to be done. I said, no, let me try this podcast thing. I'm someone who's confident under Indians.
So the reason for you to get into politics was
to change the life of a black person.
Yeah. What was these things, like if you could just give me examples, some of the things that really bothered you at the time?
What bothered me is for a black person not to have enough opportunities in life. You know, the only thing is just to have your foot in life. You know, for you to succeed to the next stage of boom, you need a form of assistance. It doesn't happen. Well, there's not even a percentage.
Yeah.
Those who are fortunate,
yeah.
A gold pot falls in their lap.
Yeah.
But 90%, 95% of Umdomnyama needs an assistant from someone else for him or her to be somewhere in life.
Yeah. And most of us can't get that from our parents because they themselves were deprived.
No, we can't. Yeah. To have a chance, just a sniffle of a chance. So, my notion, DA had this open opportunity society for all. It spoke to what I wanted. To give people opportunities. Ituba. Just to have Ituba and Jebomin. You know, I joined the party 2010. You know, my dream was there is like the imbalances in South Africa are scary. You know, for for someone who's less privileged and someone who's privileged, now into the adulthood. I'm not talking about any industry. I'm talking adulthood. I'm talking 21. Senior asset already. I don't want to mention a race or color or whatever. Senior asset. Senior opportunity given. And Tina, the only thing we have, it's our dreams. And those dreams, they'll never come true unless you get assistance from someone else. Everyone.
And even that, the most basic of things, a dream, you find Guti, it also is, your dream is also influenced and affected by your exposure. How can you dream properly if you have not been exposed to different types of careers? How many of us knew of any careers except for the ones that we saw? You know? I mean, we're discovering, me for instance, I'm discovering Persians. I'm a video editor at late in my years. Something I was not exposed to. That's just a good example. So there was no ways I could have discovered other things that could be of interest to me because I was never exposed. So I'm just echoing the Nditeta.
Yeah.
Because it even affects how you dream. Exposed.
It's, do you know, the amount of wealth we have in this country, I'm not talking mineral wealth. I'm talking mental health. Wealth. Mental wealth. It's good as a country. But it's not unlocked. I got exposed. Lord, the unfortunate thing is, you know, we see these days, né? I'll take a town like Queenstown. Queenstown is not supposed to be kule level in terms of infrastructure, in terms of exposure, because it's a corridor. It's a corridor to go to Cape Town, corridor to go to Joburg. Do you know Ukomani, the way it's positioned geographically? Sure. It's a corridor. It's the lack or the amount of ignorance. It's a bit of a harsh word. But most of the people, young people, I'm not sure if they're ignorant or they're not exposed, but they're not supposed to be in that level of ignorance. Because everyone needs to go through Queenstown. Going to Cape Town, going to Joburg, going to Bloemfontein. Yeah. So we ought to, or someone who drives through, ought to see something in Queenstown. But the unfortunate part is, that's one of the things I was in politics. It's the lack of infrastructure, which is in town. There's nothing attractive. Apikoman. Komanyapel. The lack of infrastructure on Atakiji's is like the lack of giving basic services to the people. That's number one. Look, if I have a million, a lousy million rand, I would never come on to invest in Queenstown. No.
Yeah. It's very interesting that you're saying that, bro, because I was thinking, with the current state and the trajectory that we're going, business people are slowly leaving. And obviously I understand izinto ziqala from national, zihle provincial, then they affect again the municipalities, the areas like Queenstown, the small towns. But zawuthetha kule level, yabona. When we started having, because now we're having this thing, we've got these power cuts. Okay, those are happening everywhere. But now, the additional things that are happening in Queenstown, where now we've also got load reduction on top of load shedding. So we find out of the blue that Queenstown igcinyelwa umbane over and above load shedding because we have got a debt Eskom that we're not paying. Nobody knew about that. It came as a surprise. The people that were given this information are sitting on it. They're not preparing anything. There is lights, it poles, like there's things as soloko zigilwa imithi, okay. So there's an extra burden on a small town, and unlike Joburg or Cape Town, nobody is paying attention to what's happening on the ground with these small towns, and it's threatening. It's becoming a serious threat, because it's almost like whatever wrong is happening, and those involved can do it in isolation, because there's no spotlight on places like this, and we suffer the brunt because we at the bottom of the food chain. And I really like you to comment on that, because you mentioned in Obana nobody would want to invest because the businesses are dying. I'm thinking about hospitality, bro. That's going to be the first thing to die, because nobody's going to come to the small towns, because they're the worst affected when it comes to whatever is happening nationally. Yeah, but if we having now load reduction on top of that, who's going to want to come to Queenstown for business? There's going to be no opportunities. Therefore, there's going to be no need for like hospitality, the casinos, the hotels, the B&Bs, and all of that. So I don't know if maybe as into Tetangazo Zobana, like nobody you wouldn't want to invest your million here. It also relates to that.
Okay. To see Ecomoney, bro. Okay, one thing. It's two-folded, this thing.
Yeah.
Or three-folded. The first thing is what dug the grave for Ecomoney. I'm hoping that we're going to close the grave soon. What dug the grave is that measure. It is the first collapse of this town.
Yeah, Zooks, and I would really appreciate if you can just break it down for as if like, because most of people like that are affected don't know these things.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you in the forefront because of your jobs, you understand. And because the average person who's sitting at home is asking questions, monitoring the fruits, but we don't know the roots.
Okay, let me break it down for you.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened is at the NCOP level, National Council of Provinces, that is in Parliament. Bahlala with the Demarcation Board, Pravin Gordhan was actually chairing that. They took these small towns, but together. They took the Nsolana municipality, which consists of Takastad, Hofmeer. And then there's Nkwangca, consisted of Stekstrom and Molteno.
Yeah.
And there was Ulukhanje municipality. They took those two to join Ulukhanje to make it one Enoch Ngijim. Now, Nkwangca municipality and Takastad, they are grant-dependent municipalities. Abanayo revenue is very minimum revenue that they're collecting. Now, Ulukhanje municipality then, it was 60% on revenue, people, 60% of its residents are paying revenue, and then 40% of Abanoba under grant. You understand your Linge, Whittlesea areas, one. But most of the people were paying rates and taxes.
Yeah.
Now, by combining those two, they're not small municipalities. In terms of land, geographically, they're big areas. Yeah? But in terms of the number of wards, you say they were small. But we're talking two towns, Takastad and Hofmeer.
Yeah.
Two towns, the other side, Stekstrom and Molteno. Now, all of these huge places, I'm talking in a stretch of 200 kilometers plus or minus, it needs to be serviced by people who are paying rates in Queenstown. It was a recipe for disaster when it started. And it's unfortunate that
Do you know the logic behind it?
The logic behind it was never clearly explained. I attended each and every meeting of the Demarcation Board. It was in 2015. None of those meetings abantu bathi bayifuna imeasure amalgamation yenzeka. Now, all those municipalities needs to be serviced to form one part of the municipality. they came empty-handed.
Yeah.
Kuko omnye kucho kwafunywa 100 and something thousand edrowing. I'm not sure if it's Kwanga or Tolwani, one of them.
Yeah.
He was under administration. They came with nothing. At that time, Lukanji had about 90 odd million on surplus in savings. Ikili Mali,
Yo.
we had our own funds as Lukanji.
Yo.
That money, Yapela, trying to say. So it was a recipe for disaster. Now, I want to come to the next part. Ne?
Sure.
The biggest problem we have, it's quite controversial, I want to say, is having people who has no clue of what is happening and until making decisions on behalf of those people. Number one, the people in parliament. The very old people over 60 making decisions for young people.
Yeah.
They have no interest at heart to make life better for those young people. Because abeko ku same wavelength. That's what happens. A classic example. Abantu using the political power, making decisions on behalf of Abantu who are powerless. But those
People they don't have invested interest in.
no, nothing. That's it's sad. Then we come to what we're saying, just basic maintenance, like street lights, is like layo, that, you know what it is? It's a collapse of rule of law. It's big, that's what I'm saying.
What does that mean?
Collapse of rule of law. The biggest problem is a tripartite organization. Now we have Yosamu, which are affiliates of the governing party.
Yeah.
Now, you can't even whisper to an employee to reprimand themselves. I'm going to give you a warning. You can't even whisper that. You know, the rule of law has collapsed. You take it in your house, Kate. You want to go at 8, make an example. It's a validate. That's a rule of law.
Sure.
Go 9, you get key again.
Yeah.
Go 10, everyone is going to sleep. It's a law. I go full as book. Your kids, your wife comes in whatever time. You will see abandon about can see abandon there's something wrong with them. That's what's happening outside. It translates to outside.
Yeah.
There is no rule of law.
Yeah. It's like having outsiders. Well, a perfect example, even the laws, the government, it's a similar thing in Obana. You cannot discipline your kids. You've got outsiders telling you not to discipline your kids.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing.
Yeah.
And therefore, you've got minimum control of how of what discipline you can implement abandon back.
In any society, once the rule of law collapses, that society collapses. People are meant to be led. People
there's meant to be law.
They're meant to be laws. You know, or we can take it back from old Roman empires. Take it back to the Greek laws. Take it back. There's meant to be laws. Into yenza a basic services. Imotos corner, equipment corner, and over the pothole.
There's no consequences.
No consequences, nothing.
No consequences.
Exactly. You whisper that as an employee, as an employer rather. When I was like, the country allows it. The rule of law has collapsed. That's the biggest problem. So, hence indeed, it is twofold. Lomchato with the unions and the employer needs to be countered. We cannot sustain.
But one would argue, Bana, it was the intention was righteous. The intention was to reverse the abuse that the previous government was exercising over the employer.
Correct.
Now it's gone from one pendulum shift to another.
You know, it's like the speech about what Tambo said. Okay, now once you have governed the country, what plans do you have? We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight in the bushes.
Sure.
And that fight is gonna stop.
Yeah.
We're going to get to a stage where we govern. We're now the government.
Yeah.
What plans do you have?
Yeah.
100% agree with you. Let me tell you of the union and everything. It was correct at the time.
It was meant to protect.
It was meant to protect.
But now it's just going.
It's opposite. Now, it's difficult to say, okay, now we're no longer the victims now. Now, we now we on the other side of the fence.
I've got a theory about this, actually. My theory on what you just said is something I've been thinking about. You know, Zuko, I'm someone who's obviously worked in different areas. But I'm learning more and more. Once you get out of the workplace, it's difficult to come back in. Probably because of age and also because of your experience. I think the employers, which in majority are white people, this is obviously subjective. You know, I'm not saying it's a fact. It's just a thought that I usually have. But now, I'm starting to suspect the people who employ, which in majority are wearing of putting black people in positions of influence because they are scared of the very same thing. On top of the fact that the government is not employing, the employers are very careful to bring in trouble in their workplace because they know now there's this freedom that people come with. They know their rights, and it's so difficult to fire somebody. The way the law is placed, it's so difficult. You get 3 warnings as the expiry, and nakona you must have concrete evidence and all of that. And so for somebody who knows the law, it's impossible to fire them. Nobody say wrong because they have to really prove this person really did this and this and this, and you can always argue your way out of those things. So abantu and the people who know these things are seemingly trying to avoid to employ people. That's why you find people are not being permanent, people are given contracts and all sorts of things. So that is causing more trouble on top of the fact that there's no employment. So I don't know, what is your thought on that? Because it's just something I've been thinking about.
Yeah, I think what your understanding, it's you've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
it's correct.
Yeah, because and there's a mentality of entitlement. Yeah. People don't know that a business doesn't stand. People must work. People must sweat to make that thing stand. So now you come into the place and you don't want law. And how do you think the business is going to survive? And what they don't know, these people, is that they work for the government, and the government, it gets its money from the taxpayer.
Yana, the biggest problem we have, the biggest employer in the country currently is the government.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Now, if the government understands it, it must make, it does say on the municipal Financial Management Act, and it says that the duty of the municipality is to make business viable for people to open business in that space, that municipality. Now, there is something, you are correct, majority of the business owners is white people. I can say that. But it's not supposed to be like that. Why? Let's address that issue first.
Yes.
It's not supposed to be like that.
Yes.
There are many black people who have full capacity, who are capable of business owners.
Yeah.
Scale up.
Sure.
The landscape. Number 2, our labor laws. I've studied labor law. Do you know, we need to get to a stage where we're frank about what do you want to achieve as a country in terms of there has to be a document that will protect the employer and the employee. There has to be a document that will clearly have a clear distinction. The wrong and the wrong remains wrong.
Yeah.
Currently, there isn't a document that clearly defines about wrong up to which level.
Yeah.
By warnings, you need to prove beyond reasonable doubt, and you know, that's when Britain government. That's when it actually fell. British government.
Yeah. Cool. I think if you were to dwell there, bro, like this will take all day. and I really want us to cover your journey as well.
Yeah.
As somebody who's gotten involved. Tell me, a lot of people would say, I can imagine 2012, you decided to join DA. And 2011, right? And you're saying that when you made this decision, you identified in Obana your frustration with the fact that you're not seeing opportunities for black people. And then looking at the DA, you saw what their policies allowed for such opportunities.
For everyone.
Yeah. I'm not involved in politics. And most of what we see from a distance. We hear from the media, we hear from the speeches, as I say, parliament, and all sorts of things. And I want you to elaborate on them because the perception out there is that DA is a white party, and usually black people who work for the DA are not given those opportunities. They are usually just people about second soil, for whatever reason they are chucked out. And as somebody who's inside, you went in because you've identified that, and how has that journey been since you've made that decision for you inside the DA?
Okay. Well, I've been with the DA since 2010, in fact. 2011 I became a councillor. So, if the journey was so bad, I wouldn't be sitting here still saying I'm a DA councillor. I think that answers the question, the first one or the last one.
Yeah.
Now, in an environment that is human and we come from different backgrounds, there will be challenges. And especially when there is the race and culture involved. One needs to understand and accept and respect one's culture. Because, South Africa, we have races we need to accommodate.
Yeah.
There's cultures we also need to accommodate.
Yeah.
Let's first respect the race and then respect the culture. Then we can have a light of working together. So, through time, I had to understand the white culture. In the white culture, I had to understand my black culture. For us to have a meeting point somewhere through time. So as a ujike uba ngumxhosa umuntu omnyama, it's just because we're with the DA.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It will never change you. It never change me.
Yeah.
Just because I'm with the DA. No. It's not supposed to change you, in fact. It's supposed to enhance you, to be proud of what you are and who you are. And then the most important thing is to give you an opportunity in life to change your current status quo of boom. And that translates to the next person, to the next person, the next person. That's why we're in politics. And in politics, I career must call up. Once someone says I'm a career politician, that's where gatekeeping comes in.
Yeah.
The ideas. Albert Einstein had an idea. He died.
Sure.
Boundless man had an idea. They changed. Evolution happens. So, as a politician, you become irrelevant through time. That's what the parliament don't understand. You have people there who are 60, 70, who are making decisions for 20-year-olds outside.
And that's the saddest thing when I Zooks, because e-politics are not attractive to ordinary citizens, let alone the youth. Because it's handled in that way. I mean, you just said something. I thought that was profound what you just said, Ndobana. It's like separating apples from oranges. You cannot say it's an issue of black or white. It's an issue of at times, there's always going to be those issues, Zabandu. There's always going to be racism. There's also xenophobia. There's also nationalism. There's also ageism. There's also classism. All sorts of things. Yabon? And all those things can come into play. I was sitting with a friend of mine that I don't want to mention his name, but we used to go to church with youth. And he was saying, Kai, a lot of people, when they deal with, he's a white boy. He was saying a lot of black people, when they deal with white people, they think that black people are racist, but sometimes they're not being racist. They're exercising classism. You know, he was saying, I grew up poor as a white person. I know the rich white people don't wanna
associate with
they want to associate with me. And when as a black person you show this person, no, the person is high class mentality. And we need to operate in the same spaces so that we can refine and separate the what is really going on. You know, and is it Trevor Noah who said that racism doesn't hold? I don't know how you put it, but he's saying it doesn't stand when you have contact with a person. Once we stand face to face, all our prejudices seem to follow. And I think I like what you just said, because it speaks to that. We have to be in the same space, breathe the same air, get to know each other, and then that's the only way to resolve these issues.
Look, the first thing we have to, it is to first respect a person, ethnicity yake. They're standing there without even speaking to that person. And then once you work with that person, you must walk in knowing that there has to be a point where we're gonna meet and agree. We won't agree with everything. You are mistaken once you say, Kaya, I like this blue color, I expect you to like this blue color. No, that's classism. Do you understand? You must respect that I like it, but I must respect you like the red color or the pink color. I must respect it. That's the first thing. So, in the end of racism, you know, I was fortunate. I've worked with different cultures and different races. You know, I've worked with Pedis, Amazulu, or studied, worked with them, white people, English people, Afrikaner people, you know, colored people. And now you get to understand a culture yabo. And I've never had problems with that because I respected their culture. And I expect them to respect my culture. And then we meet on a common goal. That's all it is.
Oh, bro, that is so profound. That is so profound.
Exactly.
Now, I want to get into you as a business person. We're running through these things because for time and space purposes.
Sure.
Where is Zuko, and what are your aspirations, and how is that area of your life going? I mean, I want you to think of this as somebody. We don't ask to be old. We find ourselves, you know, and you said something that is very painful. There are old people in parliament who've got no interest, who seem to have no interest. I'm paraphrasing. Who seem to have no interest, no understanding, no knowledge of the people on the ground, the young people, you know. And we see these things, but the unfortunate part, their time has passed. But now we are the ones entering. We are the ones now who are going to be blamed by young people. But Dad, you guys never did anything. What did our parents leave us? Now we cannot keep blaming the elders in parliament. What are we doing? And I want you to relate that your story as a business person, as a father, and your aspirations, and just to the issue of all of this. You involved with the DA, you as a business person, you as a father, and umhlali waseKomani.
Right. Through the years, I've gone on to study the occupational health and safety. I studied up to international level. You know, as a person, you need to be.
For some of us who don't know, what is that?
Okay. Occupational health and safety in construction management. It's when everything needs to be built in construction. There has to be someone who comes to oversee the safety aspects of it. You know, for injuries, for deaths, or for whatever. You know, that's that person, me. Well, so I want to study that. Up on international level, Bosch and whatnot. Now, I saw an opportunity in that. You know, you need to be inquisitive as a person, for me. So I'm a consultant of that. I consult in different sites around the province, well, even outside the province. I consult in project management. I've got different sites. I'm more in the construction industry, consulting in that side. Yes, that's the business aspect. And I've also gone into logistics recently. Now, I'm busy. I'm busy trying to get into mining. It's an interesting challenge. We need to put this kind of.
Have you started making strides
I have.
to get into it? So you've got your foot in some way.
I had a couple of meetings. No, I had a couple of meetings. So it's something which is a prospect, something that I'm excited about. Yeah, but it's something that whatever I do, I always want to bring someone from Queenstown. Even in my business, I always have someone from. I grew up in this town.
It's very interesting, Zooks, because I was thinking in my head when you said you wanted to stay in Queenstown. It made sense to me when you said you chose, because clearly it's not for a lack of opportunity. You were not forced to be here, but you decided you said you felt it was the best place to raise a family, to mentor your children. But in my head, I was like, I understand that. But what about the fact that people still need opportunities that are outside Queenstown? How about that? Because yes, it may be conducive to raise your children, but what about the exposure, the business, and things like that? And I think now you're touching on that when you're saying, because obviously there's no mining in Queenstown, right? But you are able to access those things while you're based here. And I really want us to give us an education on that, because most of us will leave Queenstown because we're saying, yeah, it may be good for this, but it's bad for the other. Yeah, but it seems like when we are able to do all of that while based here and still access things that are outside Queenstown.
The first thing one needs to read. You don't need to be educated. Yeah. We have gadgets, phones. Yeah. You need to go on Google, go on YouTube. You need to be inquisitive. Yeah. Read. There are people waiting there to invest.
Yeah. And I have to repeat this because people are frustrated in Queenstown because nothing is happening. They're saying, I need to get out of Queenstown. They think that's going to be an answer. You go to Joburg, and then you come back. Yeah, so you're saying the issue is not necessarily where you're based. It's the fact that there's not enough information. Yeah.
Exactly that. Not enough information. And the only person to give you that information is yourself. Yeah. I think 90% of youth manage smartphones. They have access to
the world.
To the world. I'm recently on some program now, how to unlock your wealth mentality. It's a 7-minute seminar every day I'm listening to. It's something that I came across 2 weeks ago. It's saying, we have access. We need to use these gadgets of ours for our benefit. Not to post something on Facebook.
Because you're literally in Queenstown, but you're somewhere else. Yeah. Because when you open something that is happening in London, for that 30 minutes, you are experiencing what's happening there. So really, it's like teleporting.
Yes. This seminar, it's based in the US, in New York. This guy, every minute, for 7 minutes, he tells you what to do for the day. Just to see things differently. Just for 7 minutes only. And mom, they know that, And I'm also involved in golfing. I'm involved in Magaliesberg. There's some golfing club there. I went to play golf the other day there.
And there you network and all sorts of things.
Yes.
You meet people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it addresses I lost my train of thought now. But it's fine, carry on.
Yeah. So Tina, I cannot, unfortunately, if I don't say that. Yeah. We're lazy. Yeah. But I understand the society made us lazy. Yeah. The lack of knowledge what is happening on outside the world in terms of politics. Yeah. Uhulumende is failing the youth.
Yes, I wanted to say, what you just mentioned, it addresses the issue now of mentorship, because we're saying that a lot of young people are not mentored. There's no use crying over that. It's already happened. But what are you doing now? Once you identify that I didn't have mentors, I didn't have these opportunities, because yes, they're supposed to be the people that are entrusted with these things, are not doing a good job.
Yeah.
But are you gonna wait? Are you gonna take your own life into your hands? We're not the victim. Are you gonna remain in that victim mentality or deprivation, instead of saying, okay, I do not have a mentor? But now you start looking around you, there are no mentors. God, there is internet. There are many people out there giving positive information, giving lessons.
Yes.
So those people, you can use those people to be your mentors.
Yes.
Identify the ones that you relate with.
Yeah.
Like you said, you bumped into something. It obviously triggered something, you related to that. Now you're following that person. That person is mentoring you. And that's what young people need to understand.
Yeah.
You may not have a father, you may not have come from a good family, but try and get access to a phone. You know? And that sort of thing, because that's where...
You know, the cages, I'm still fighting it.
Yeah.
I said in council we have a fiber running through town.
Yeah.
I see this one internet hotspot. We should have many. Do you know how encouraged, like Villa Park Gardens, there's people sitting watching their phones. I so hope that they do it for their benefit.
Yeah.
You know, this thing, the digital world, people need to understand why the world has gone digital.
Yeah.
Now, if you ignore the digital world, you're left behind.
Sure.
The unfortunate part is that you'll be left behind.
Sure.
Be at abreast, rather, with industries like your
surroundings.
Your surroundings.
You can never be an effective tool for yourself and those you represent. If you don't know your surroundings, how do you prepare yourself? How do you position yourself?
Yeah. Look, I was fortunate. What I've mentored people, I was never mentored. I've mentored two guys. One guy, he actually bought himself a Ford Ranger a year ago. He came to show me. I was so excited.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have, at least I was fortunate enough to have someone who I had mentored.
Yeah.
And I think this thing called a cell phone, a smartphone, it's a great mentor. I like what it's exciting what you just told me. I never thought of that. Yeah.
Zooks, I want us to wrap this up, man, because I'm sure I'm going to run out of space there. What if somebody is listening to this conversation, because it's a conversation really? What is something maybe that will be burning in your heart that you just want to leave us with in terms of the climate of things in South Africa? Because there's a lot of us who are losing hope. There's a high suicide rate. A friend of mine, bro, just passed away.
I know.
Just took his life, and he was unemployed. I was with him we became close friends just before he passed away. I was with him about a month ago, and Marcel, about his challenges with work and some of the relationships. I don't want to get into that because they involve Amanya Bandu, but some of the relationships that may have led to him taking his life. And it's got, sometimes the family structures, you may think it's a girlfriend, but sometimes even the family structures can make people lose heart. And I remember I was speaking to him on the 26th of December. He was saying that he posted something on his WhatsApp saying that, what do you do when somebody because you've got only one life to live? And then fortunately for me, I could have read this in person, but I responded. I said, do nothing. Don't try to defend yourself, because sometimes when you try to defend yourself, you just make it worse. Just carry on doing the right thing and carry on with your life, and time will redeem you. But I think whatever pressure he was feeling just became too much for him, and I found out day before yesterday that he's no more. He took his life.
Yeah.
So it's a serious thing with the issues that men are having, because I know it's got a lot to do with unemployment as well. So maybe the world was too heavy on him. So considering all of those things, what would be maybe something that you'd want anybody who's listening to this conversation, City, a take home?
The cage is number one. It's we need support. If family support is not enough, because family has like in thousands. Yeah. We need to support each other. How do we do that? Okay. Now, there are people who are inspirational, who has made it in life. Our own black brothers. I'm calling up to them. They need to come down to small places like Queenstown. Have a seminar. Not once. No. Make it a religious thing once every 3 months. Make people start believing again.
In other words, you say we must bring back the culture of giving back.
Culture of giving back. In terms of just about who needs to have the sense of hope. To have people who has crossed over. Not crossed over by, people who has sort of made it in life. Law, it encourages one who know, even though there is
light.
There is light. There is a silver stripings in that dark cloud. So about what they need is a sense of hope and belief. That's one. Two, government or the people in power needs to open those doors.
They need to wake up, man.
Don't employ. We're not saying someone must be employed, but decisions. I was listening to, was it Fiki Nambalulu or someone, that they gonna concentrate on. That's one of the policies they came out with. April Fontaine is on a manufacturing industry. They need to have policies on that. Those things. It's just putting words into paper, but they will never actually. You don't see the day of life. So whoever is in power at that stage, or even now, it needs to give back to the people the sense of being appreciated and giving people the opportunity in life. Just one sniffle, in life, not to being exposure. A millionaire, just exposure, experience. Just a sniffle of a chance and a small opportunity. You will see. What you just said just touched me, Nana, because I know people, 2 of them in fact, who took their lives. It's some about in basic.
It's becoming a pandemic.
It's painful. It's painful, and it's so painful in that it doesn't seem like a corner solution for it, but there is. There is. A person to get to a level by us to boom. It doesn't mean that person has not tried everything.
They've lost all hope.
They've lost all hope. That's what happens. I've never been in that position. I've been.
But you can't take it for granted.
I can never. I won't say.
You don't know what that person is going through.
No. I've been in my worst. I come to Zanga. I feel it that way. I cannot classify myself as special. I've been in my worst in terms of thoughts, in terms of depression around. Everyone goes through that in life. But for him to get into extent where I start to boom. But we need to, as a society, help each other.
And it doesn't have to be with big things. It doesn't have to be giving money or someone giving someone a job. It's just that who feel you have made it, just be kind to people.
A sense of
greet your friends, be nice to your friends.
Suziva ngathi ngoku Miss High and Mighty, Mr. High and Mighty. You know, it's those things that make other people lose courage. Sometimes people don't want money. Sometimes people don't even want you to put them on. Sometimes people just want to be made to feel like human. You know?
I've got a small example. I'm not tapping myself on the shoulder. But I've got these guys, Abasuka picture they were working.
Yeah.
They've always said, they've never seen the beach. Last year, I said, let's go, gents.
Yeah.
We go to East London. I said, nah, I'll run to go soon.
Yeah,
they were so happy.
And it's a big deal.
Yeah. So, it was
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, bro.
Exactly.
People just need that push. The rest they'll do. My brother, I want us to wrap this up, man. But I want to give you a few words before Siva.
Sure.
I'm so glad to have had this opportunity now. Zooks we don't know, bruh. And we need to start thinking that way, Bana. You know, every moment could be the last. So we need to take these things that we do seriously. They may be small. This may seem small, but to me, it's a big deal. So I appreciate you coming through. And just listening to your story, just listening to your ambitions, I want to say to you, Zooks, keep doing what you're doing, my brother. Keep doing what you're doing, and you're a wonderful inspiration. I don't imagine your life is perfect like anybody else.
Yeah,
You've got your own challenges.
Yes.
And I'm not taking that for granted, but I'm just saying thank you for being somebody who's striving to be their best. Thank you for fighting your demons. You know, the issue you mentioned about alcohol, because all of those things speak to a better you. A better you speaks to a better family speaks to a better
society,
community, and so forth and so forth. And tomorrow you may have a struggle that is big, but I'm speaking for what I'm saying what I know. Uti, we had this chat, and I can clearly see, you know, Mana, you're somebody who's putting an effort, and we need that, you know. And it's time when we come back as Sisibei community again, you know, people who relate. We don't need to carry each other's burdens, but we need to be a people. So thank you for coming. I don't know if there's anything maybe you want to leave a message, if there's people who want to access you. I don't know if you're in socials and things like that. You want to talk about that? Okay.
Yeah, look, I'm actually on Facebook.
Sure.
I think I'm Zuko.
Yeah, because maybe somebody may like this.
Yeah, I'm Zuko Mandile. Yeah, I'm just Zuko Mandile on Facebook. Okay. Yeah, I still need to go to Instagram. You're gonna teach me. Yeah,
they're all the same, man.
What you just said, we live for a moment. I read something and I've kept that we're mortal.
Yes.
If I
this is immortal.
If I hold your hand now, Kaya, it's now 4 minutes to 4, 9 minutes to 4. It is the first time and the last time I'm doing this today, on the 7th of January 2023. 7 minutes, the rest of our lives. So whatever we do now, it is for the first time.
We must be present,
and it's for the last time. We're mortal. So that's I try to live like that.
Zooks, thank you.